Good morning, India. It's just past 8 this 3rd October, Thursday morning, and welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Anil Thomas. Over the next 1 hour, we'll take you through the major happenings across India and the globe from the field of politics, business and sports. Also a regular segment on health and weather in your city. Our top focus over the day, semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express train to Katra in Jammu to be flagged off from New Delhi today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's clarion call to make India single-use plastic-free India movement by the year 2022. We'll be getting you live inputs from our correspondents on various angles to the top stories. But first up this Thursday morning, the headlines we are tracking at the top of this hour. Paying tribute to Bapu on his 150th birth anniversary, Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils postal stamp and silver coin based on Mahatma Gandhi's life. Says public participation and volunteerism have been the hallmark of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and the reason for its success. Prime Minister Modi launches single-use plastic-free India movement. Says by the year 2022, we have to free our country from single-use plastic. Good news for devotees of Mata Vaishno Devi. Semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express train to Katra in Jammu to be flagged off from Delhi today. BJP releases second list of candidates for Haryana and Maharashtra Assembly elections, whereas Congress releases first list of candidates for Haryana and the third list for Maharashtra. In international news, US President Donald Trump denounces impeachment inquiry into his July telephone call with Ukraine's leader, calls the probe as hoax, but also says he will cooperate with the inquiry. And in cricket, rain stops play after tea on the first day of the first test match between India and South Africa in Visakhapatnam. Rohit Sharma hits unbeaten century. India end day one at 202 without loss. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Ahmedabad to pay tributes to Mahatma Gandhi as the world celebrated his 150th birth anniversary. After a visit to Sabarmati Ashram, Prime Minister Modi participated in a mega Swachhata Divas event. Congratulating all countrymen, Prime Minister said that today villagers have declared themselves free from open defecation. He lauded those living in villages as well as the sarpanchs and all those who have worked for Swachhata. More in this report.
Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying tributes to Bapu at the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad as the world celebrates his 150th birth anniversary. But the highlight of the day was the dedication of an ODF-free India to Mahatma Gandhi. In a tribute to Bapu, one of the first Swachhagrahis of India, Prime Minister Modi placed the symbol of a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan on a sand art installation along the Sabarmati river front.
मैं आज बापू की धरती से उनकी प्रेरणा स्थली, संकल्प स्थली से पूरे विश्व को बधाई देता हूं। ग्रामीण भारत ने, वहां के लोगों ने खुद को खुले में शौच से मुक्त घोषित किया है। स्वेच्छा से, स्वप्रेरणा से और जन भागीदारी से चल रहे स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की ये शक्ति भी है और सफलता का स्रोत भी है।
While visiting an exhibition displaying the Swachhata journey, Prime Minister Narendra Modi warmly embraced Chandrakant Kulkarni, a pensioner who gave up 30% of his pension towards building toilets. It is people like him who made the movement a Jan Andolan. Prime Minister gave the nation the next Swachhata challenge to make India single-use plastic free by 2022.
वो प्लास्टिक जिसका हम एक बार उपयोग करते हैं और फिर फेंक देते हैं, ऐसे प्लास्टिक से हमें देश को मुक्त करना है.
Prime Minister showed keen interest in all the exhibits that showcase different facets of the Swachhata journey. According to a UNICEF report, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has led to savings of over rupees 20 lakh crores.
बापू कहते थे कि दुनिया में जो बदलाव आप देखना चाहते हैं, पहले वो स्वयं में लाना होगा. इसी मंत्र पर चलते हुए हम सभी ने झाड़ू उठाई और निकल पड़े.
PM also released the Swachhata anthem.
भारतस्य इतिहासेषु सुवर्णकान्ति सदृशः स्वप्नं जातं परिपूर्णं स्वच्छ भारतं नमाम्यहम्.
As well as 6 commemorative postal stamps and a commemorative rupees 150 coin. Prime Minister also distributed certificates to students who participated in an essay writing competition titled A Letter to Bapu. Swachhagrahis from across India were also honoured by him. Prime Minister Modi bowed before those gathered at the function, including 20,000 Gram Pradhans and foreign dignitaries present. PM saluted their commitment that made the cleanliness movement a success.
60 करोड़ से अधिक आबादी को टॉयलेट की सुविधा देना, 11 करोड़ से ज्यादा शौचालयों का निर्माण, ये सुनकर विश्व अचंभित है. लेकिन मेरे लिए किसी भी आंकड़े, किसी भी प्रशंसा, किसी भी सम्मान से बड़ा संतोष तब होता है जब मैं बच्चियों को बिना किसी चिंता के स्कूल जाते देखता हूं.
The world has lauded the Swachhata Abhiyan that has transformed lives in India. This collective effort has emerged as a model for the world to emulate. From stemming disease to generating employment to upholding the dignity of women, there could be no better tribute to the father of the nation than fulfilling his dream of a clean India.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
With Meghna Dev and Arun Sharma in Ahmedabad, Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister hailed the life of Bapu and Lal Bahadur Shastri as an inspiration for all, emphasizing that the values they stood for continued to be a guiding light. Recalling Bapu's teachings that in order to resolve global problems, we need to find solutions to national issues first. Prime Minister Modi said that India's Swachhata mission is an example for the rest of the world. He also highlighted the recently launched Jai Jeevan mission, calling for active public participation.
मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, हमारे इस आंदोलन के मूल में सबसे बड़ी बात व्यवहार परिवर्तन है. ये परिवर्तन पहले स्वयं से होता है, संवेदना से होता है. यही सीख हमें महात्मा गांधी जी और लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी के जीवन से मिलती है. देश जब गंभीर खाद्य संकट से जूझ रहा था, तो शास्त्री जी ने देशवासियों से अपनी खाने की आदतों में बदलाव का आह्वान किया. लेकिन शुरुआत खुद के परिवार से की. महात्मा गांधी कहा करते थे कि वो भारत का उत्थान इसलिए चाहते हैं ताकि सारी दुनिया उसका लाभ उठा सके. गांधी जी का स्पष्ट मत था कि राष्ट्रवादी हुए बिना अंतर्राष्ट्रीयवादी नहीं हुआ जा सकता. यानी हमें पहली अपनी समस्याओं का समाधान खुद ढूंढना होगा, तब जाकर हम पूरे विश्व को मदद कर सकते हैं। इसी राष्ट्रवाद की भावना को लेकर आज भारत आगे बढ़ रहा है। बापू के सपनों का भारत नया भारत बन रहा है। बापू के सपनों का भारत जो स्वच्छ होगा, पर्यावरण सुरक्षित होगा। बापू के सपनों का भारत जहां हर व्यक्ति स्वस्थ होगा, फिट होगा। सरकार ने अभी जो जल जीवन मिशन शुरू किया है, उससे भी इससे मदद मिलने वाली है। अपने घर में, अपने गांव में, अपनी कॉलोनी में वाटर रिचार्ज के लिए, वाटर रिसाइकलिंग के लिए हम जो भी प्रयास कर सकते हैं वो करने चाहिए। अगर हम ये कर पाए तो टॉयलेट के नियमित और स्थायी उपयोग के लिए इससे बहुत मदद मिलेगी। सरकार ने जल जीवन मिशन पर 3.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए खर्च करने का फैसला किया है। 3.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए। लेकिन देशवासियों की सक्रिय भागीदारी के बिना इस विराट कार्य को पूरा करना मुश्किल है।
Prime Minister joined a cultural Navratri event in the city. The vibrant culture of Gujarat was on full display during the festive season. Prime Minister Modi performed Aarti to Ma Durga. Prime Minister also addressed the BJP workers in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister highlighted the change which is occurring in India after the government took various initiatives for the welfare of common man. Prime Minister called that Gandhi at 150 has been marked at the UN with immense enthusiasm. The Prime Minister said that the Howdy Modi program in Houston provided him an opportunity to witness himself the respect India has at the world stage. Prime Minister said that India's stature is rising at the world stage and respect for India is increasing all over.
महात्मा गांधी पर एक पोस्टल स्टैंप भी निकाला था। वैष्णव भजन किस भाषा में है ये भी जिनको पता नहीं है, ऐसे दुनिया के 150 से अधिक देशों के गायकों ने वैष्णव भजन गाया। और इन दिनों दूरदर्शन पर देखते होंगे आप, हर दिन अलग अलग देश के गायकों के द्वारा बापू का एक प्रिय भजन आप टीवी पर देखते हैं। और हमारे लिए गांधी अमरत्व से जुड़े हुए हैं। गांधी आज भी है, गांधी कल भी होंगे, आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी होंगे, हर किसी के लिए होंगे। हर समस्या के समाधान के लिए कहीं न कहीं गांधी की महक मिलेगी।
As India continues to achieve milestones in renewable energy sector, Thursday, a unique event was organized to celebrate the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. About 10 lakh students across 60 countries came together and assembled small solar lamps to stress the use of new and renewable form of energy for sustainable growth of the world. In Delhi, over 5,000 students from various schools took part in an event where Union Environment Minister encouraged their initiative. He also called for more awareness and efforts to keep our environment clean and green.
In a special homage to Mahatma Gandhi on his 150th birth anniversary, young students from Delhi and NCR region created 2 world records. The first world record was in the category of environmental sustainability lessons to the largest number of students at one place. The second record pertains to the largest number of assembly and lighting of solar lamps. Chief guest of the event, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar congratulated all students. The Union Minister also administered the oath of non-violence towards environment to all students.
मैं प्रतिज्ञा करता हूं पर्यावरण की रक्षा मेरा धर्म है। इसके लिए मैं पेड़ लगाऊंगा, मैं पानी और बिजली दोनों की बचत करूंगा, मैं सोलर एनर्जी का उपयोग करूंगा।
The Environment Minister expressed happiness over the fact that 79 countries have become member of the International Solar Alliance.
सूर्य की एनर्जी मुफ्त होती है, पर्यावरण को नुकसान नहीं होता है, कार्बन एमिशन नहीं होता है, सबसे बेस्ट एनर्जी है वो सोलर एनर्जी है और इसलिए इसका संगठन करो। लेकिन उस समय नहीं सुना गया, लेकिन मोदी जी ने पेरिस में सोलर अलायंस की घोषणा की और मुझे खुशी है आज ही अभी अधिकारियों ने बताया 79 countries have become members of Solar Alliance. 79 countries have become members of Solar Alliance. यह हमने काम करके दिखाया है।
Speaking on the occasion, Power Minister R.K. Singh said that the world is facing serious threat from climate change. The Power Minister further said that future world will be the world of producer, not the world of consumer, as every home will produce power from solar.
अब हम सोलर से पावर जनरेट कर सकते हैं और कार्बन एमिशन उससे हमारा 0 होगा और साथ ही साथ यह भी संभव है कि हर एक व्यक्ति, हर परिवार अपने आवश्यकता के लिए एनर्जी खुद पैदा करे। जो आने वाली दुनिया है, आने वाली दुनिया कंज्यूमर की दुनिया नहीं होगी, प्रोस्यूमर की दुनिया होगी। हर परिवार अपना ऊर्जा खुद उत्पादन करेगा, सोलर लगा करके खेत में या विंडमिल लगा करके और कंज्यूम करेगा।
The Union Environment Minister called for creating own oxygen bank by planting at least 7 trees during one's lifetime. The event stressed the fact that all should take pledge to leave a better world for our future generations. Abhishek Jan's report, DD News, Delhi.
Moving on, the nationwide Paryatan Parv 2019 kick-started on Wednesday to promote tourism in the country. The Parv was jointly inaugurated by Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and Tourism Minister Prahlad Singh Patel at Rajpath Lawns in New Delhi. Paryatan Parv will continue till the 13th of this month. The aim is to propagate the message of Dekho Apna Desh, to encourage people to visit tourist destinations of the country and to also spread the message of tourism for all.
पिछले 4 साल से यहाँ पर्यटन पर्व हो रहा है। मैं बहुत बहुत आपको बधाई देता हूँ और ये मोदी जी ने एक नया काम किया। मोदी जी ने और एक निर्णय लिया, 17 आइकॉनिक स्पॉट्स तैयार किए हैं कि 17 जगह सारी सुविधा जैसे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय टूरिस्ट प्लेस में होती है, क्लीनलीनेस, लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी, अच्छे बजट होटल से 5 स्टार होटल, उसके साथ साथ बहुत अच्छी लाइटिंग और बाकी व्यवस्था, साइनेजेस, ऑडियो गाइड्स और क्या लगता है सारी जानकारी और ठीक ठाक से रखरखाव। और ये अगर हम करेंगे तो लोग आते हैं।
Mahatma Gandhi's life and legacy were remembered by people across the world on his 150th birth anniversary, with several countries including Russia and Sri Lanka releasing commemorative postage stamps and organizing events to mark the day. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his message on the occasion, said Mahatma Gandhi pioneered successive non-violent movements that changed history. 150 years since his birth, Gandhi's philosophy is at the core of our work at the UN. May his courage and conviction continue to inspire us on Wednesday's International Day of Non-Violence and every day, the UN chief tweeted. The iconic Burj Khalifa in Dubai paid a tribute to the Apostle of Peace on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The Indian Embassy in The Hague celebrated the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in a different way. A march was organized to highlight the Mahatma Gandhi's ideals of non-violence. Around 300 people, including school children, took part in the march. In Nepal, many programs were organized on the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The main function was held in Kathmandu, which was attended by the Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. A report from our Kathmandu correspondent Rajkumar.
A special commemorative ceremony was held at the Rashtriya Sabha Griha in Kathmandu to celebrate the 150th Gandhi Jayanti. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, former President Ram Baran Yadav, former Prime Minister Baburam Bhattari, Indian Ambassador Manjeev Singh Puri and a number of other eminent personalities graced the occasion. In his address, Prime Minister Oli said Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy and principle are more relevant in modern world.
The world is not violence-free and it is necessary to keep it violence-free. Gandhi's thoughts are relevant and it will be good for persons and nations to adopt them.
In another program, Ambassador Manjeev Singh Puri unveiled a statue of Bapu in the premises of Indian Embassy. Besides embassy officials and their family members, former ministers and members of parliament, civil society leaders and journalists attended the program.
चाहे हम नॉन वायलेंस देखिए, चाहे हम आज के सभ्यता में, आज के दिन में सबसे ज्यादा प्रचलित बात क्लाइमेट चेंज, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट लीजिएगा, सैनिटेशन लीजिएगा, किसी भी चीज में लीजिएगा, गांधी जी रिमेन्स रेलेवेंट.
Many veteran Gandhians of Nepal also joined the celebrations and highlighted the importance of Gandhi's thoughts.
यदि कोई इस कलयुग की इस दुष्प्रभाव से बचना चाहते हैं तो गांधी आइडियोलॉजी में हम लोग सब चलना चाहिए. मनुष्य जितना समाज है गांधी आइडियोलॉजी में चले तो बचे, नहीं चले तो सब डूबे.
Today is a great day, not only for Indian people but for all human beings in the world, because he teaches the path of non-violence, he teaches path of peace, he teaches path of cooperation among all human beings.
जॉन एफ कैनेडी का सेशन हुआ तब मुझे अमेरिकन हाउस ने मुझे बुलाया और कहा कि तुम मिसेस गर्ग 2 मिनट के लिए चरखा काट दो. तो आज हमारा इतना बड़ा देश का व्यक्ति चला गया है, उसको मार दिया है, तो हम लोग को बहुत शांति होगी. तो मैंने अमेरिकन हाउस में जाके 2 मिनट चरखा चलाया, तो उससे सब लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लगा. तो मुझे इससे ये फील हुआ कि देखिए महात्मा गांधी का संसार में उनका कितना महत्व है और कितना मानते हैं.
Artists of Swami Vivekanand Cultural Center and Kendriya Vidyalaya Kathmandu presented songs and Gandhiji's favorite bhajans. Rajkumar's report for DT News from Kathmandu.
Well, good news for devotees of Mata Vaishno Devi. India's semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express train from Delhi to Katra in Jammu will be flagged off today. The first commercial run of the Delhi-Katra Vande Bharat Express will begin on October 4th, that's Friday. Katra is the last station on the way to the famous Hindu pilgrimage spot, Vaishno Devi. The Vande Bharat Express will reduce the journey time between Delhi and Katra from a usual travel time of 12 hours on this route. The Vande Bharat will take only 8 hours to reach Katra. En route, the train will halt at Ambala Can, Ludhiana and Jammu Tawi for 2 minutes each. Well, for more on the story, Abhishek Singh, our correspondent tracking railways for us, joins us this morning from the New Delhi railway station. Abhishek, a busy day ahead for you. But looking at this particular train, the Vande Bharat Katra, Delhi-Katra line that's going to be launched, What have been the expectations and what's special about this train compared to the train that's running on the Varanasi line?
बिल्कुल अनिल, देखिए वंदे भारत का ये जो ट्रेन है ये दूसरा रैक है जो आईसीएफ चेन्नई में बन के तैयार हुआ है। पहला रैक जैसा कि आपने बताया दिल्ली से वाराणसी के बीच में चल रही है। प्रधानमंत्री ने उसे हरी झंडी दिखा के रवाना किया था और तकरीबन अब तक जो है वो 1 लाख किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा तक का सफ़र कर चुकी है पहली वंदे भारत ट्रेन। और ये दूसरा जो है वंदे भारत है जो दिल्ली से कटरा के बीच चलाया जा रहा है, क्योंकि जो माता वैष्णो देवी जाने वाले श्रद्धालुओं की हमेशा भीड़ रहती है। दिल्ली एक सेंटर है जहां से कई ट्रेनें चलती है वैष्णो देवी के लिए, कटरा के लिए, जम्मू के लिए, लेकिन ये ट्रेन ऐसा है जो अमूमन जो ट्रेनों को 12 घंटे लगते थे उसकी जगह पे जो है सिर्फ 8 घंटे में पहुंचाएगी। और टाइमिंग भी इसे इसका इस तरीके से रखा गया कि ये सुबह 6 बजे चलेगी और दोपहर में 2 बजे कटरा पहुंच जाएगी और वापसी में उधर से 3 बजे चल के 11 बजे दिल्ली पहुंचेगी। अभी वर्ल्ड की अगर बात करें तो पूरे विश्व में हाई स्पीड या सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन की अगर हम बात करें तो सिर्फ 15 ऐसे कंट्री है जहाँ पे ये ट्रेनें चलती है। और अब भारत पहले वंदे भारत के साथ जो है इसमें इस सूची में शामिल हो चुका है। तकरीबन 180 किलोमीटर की रफ्तार पे वंदे भारत को परखा जा चुका है और इसकी जो संचालन गति जो है वो 130 किलोमीटर के आसपास है पहले रैक में। और इस रैक में काफ़ी बदलाव किए गए हैं, इसके इंटीरियर में काफ़ी बदलाव किया गया है। पहले रैक में जो खान पान को लेकर के जो एक शिकायत आ रही थी कि उसमें स्पेस नहीं था जो पेंट्री के लिए, लेकिन इसमें जो है स्पेस जो है उसमें स्पेस को बढ़ाया गया है। इसके साथ ही जो कूलिंग वाटर बॉटल्स के लिए इसमें जो है अलग से जगह बनाया गया है, हॉटकेस के लिए इसमें अलग से जगह बनाया गया है ताकि लोगों को गर्मा गर्म खाना सर्व किया जा सके, ठंडा पानी उन्हें सर्व किया जा सके। किराया भी जो इसका है टोटल इसमें 14 चेयर कार है। ये पूरा जो है वातानुकूलित ट्रेन है, 14 चेयर कार है। इसमें से 12 चेयर कार जो है वो नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव है और 2 एग्जीक्यूटिव चेयर कार है। 78 सीट की कैपेसिटी है एक चेयर कार की, जबकि जो एग्जीक्यूटिव चेयर कार है उसमें 56 सीट है। इसके अलावा अगर मैं आपको बताऊं इसके किराए की अगर बात करूं तो इसका जो किराया है वो तकरीबन 1630 रुपये है जो कि चेयर कार में है दिल्ली से लेकर कटरा तक का, यानी कि आम आदमी के बजट में है। वहीं अगर आप ज़्यादा सुविधा और ज़्यादा आराम से जाना चाहते हैं तो आपको एग्जीक्यूटिव क्लास में जाना होगा और उसके लिए आपको 3015 रुपये पे करने होंगे। अनिल,
Abhishek, talking about the train, how has been the response to that initial train that's going to start from tomorrow? How's been the booking, and does this train run on all 7 days of the week, or is there a break that on one day that this train doesn't run? Or give us more on how has been the response by the people to this particular line being open, and considering that there is a reduction in travel time, approximately 4 hours if you travel by this Vande Bharat train.
बिल्कुल अनिल, देखिए सप्ताह में ये 6 दिन ट्रेन चलती है। एक दिन जो है इस ट्रेन को रख रखाव मेंटेनेंस के लिए जो है उसके लिए देखभाल के लिए इसको जो है रखा जाता है। हालांकि सप्ताह के 6 दिन चलती है, मंगलवार को छोड़ के ये प्रतिदिन चला करेगी ये ट्रेन। और इस ट्रेन की अगर हम खूबियों की बात करें, इस ट्रेन के अंदर अगर हम इस ट्रेन को लेकर क्या फीडबैक रहा है इसकी बात करें हम, तो फिलहाल जो वाराणसी दिल्ली के बीच में जो वंदे भारत चल रही है वो तकरीबन 1 लाख किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा का सफ़र तय कर चुकी है। रेलवे को जो सबसे ज़्यादा कमाई देने वाली जो प्रीमियम ट्रेन है उसमें वंदे भारत दिल्ली वाराणसी का नाम शुमार हो चुका है और तकरीबन 50 लाख के आसपास की आमदनी है एक रैक से, वंदे भारत के पहले रैक से, जो कि दिल्ली और वाराणसी के बीच चल रही है। और इस ट्रेन को भी इसीलिए इस रूट पे दिया गया है कि एक तो श्रद्धालुओं की जो संख्या लगातार बढ़ी है और खास तौर पे नवरात्र का दिन चुना गया है ये, क्योंकि इस समय सबसे ज़्यादा श्रद्धालु जाते हैं माता वैष्णो देवी। ऐसे में ये ट्रेन की अभी आज इसको हरी झंडी दिखाएंगे होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह, लेकिन इसका जो कमर्शियल रन है वो 4 तारीख से शुरू होगा और 4 तारीख के लिए अभी फिलहाल जो है सारी बुकिंग फुल हो चुकी है। 5 तारीख को भी अभी वेटिंग जा चुका है, तकरीबन 100 के ऊपर इसका वेटिंग है। तो अभी से आप देखिए कि अभी इस ट्रेन को आज लॉन्च होना है, आज इसको हरी झंडी दिखाया जा रहा है और इसका जो है किस तरीके का रिव्यू है, किस तरीके का फीडबैक है।
Okay, this is a great, this news brings great cheer to the people who want to visit Vaishno Devi there. The producers clearly indicating that we're running short of time. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us. We'll come back to you for more updates as in when the flag off takes place for that particular train from New Delhi. The first run of this particular train is going to take place. The Vande Bharat Express is going to start from tomorrow, and Abhishek clearly indicating that the train has been sold out. And for the 5th of October, there's already a long list of waitlisting passengers there. Moving ahead now to elections in Maharashtra and Haryana, where the BJP has released the second list of 12 candidates for Haryana Assembly elections. The second list includes the state Vice President Mahila Morcha, Sonali Phogat. In the second list, the BJP has nominated Surendra Rana from Narayangarh, Pramod Viz from Panipat city, Nirmal Chaudhary from Gannor, Meena Narwal from Karkhoda. BJP has also released the second list of 14 candidates for Maharashtra Assembly elections. Meanwhile, the Indian National Lok Dal, the regional party in Haryana, released its first list of 64 candidates for the Haryana Assembly elections after the party's election committee met in New Delhi under the chairmanship of its chief, Om Prakash Chautala. Releasing the list, the state president of INLD, Birbal Das Dalia, said that the names include the names of 12 women candidates and all sections of society have been given preference while allotting the tickets. According to the list, Abhay Singh Chautala will contest from Elanabad. It is noteworthy that a number of senior INLD leaders had left the party before the poll announcement. Meanwhile, the Congress party late on Wednesday night released its list of 84 candidates for the upcoming Haryana elections, fielding all its sitting MLAs except one. Former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda will contest from the Garli Sampla Kilohi seat, while the party's chief spokesperson Randeep Surjewala will contest from his Kaithal Assembly constituency. Out of the 17 sitting MLAs in the Haryana Assembly, the party fielded 16, barring Renuka Vaishnoi, who represents the Hansi constituency. The son and the daughter-in-law of former Chief Minister Bansi Lal have also been given party tickets, with Ranveer Mahindra fielded from the Bhadra seat and Kiran Chaudhary from the Tosham seat. Elections to the 90-member Haryana Assembly will be held on October 21st and the results will be declared on October 24th. Congress, meanwhile, also released its third list of 20 candidates for the upcoming Maharashtra Assembly elections. With this, the party has so far announced the names of 123 candidates, with 51 in the first and 52 in the second list of candidates announced. The elections for the 288-member house in Maharashtra will be held on October 21st, and the results will be out simultaneously along with Haryana on 24th of October. The Congress and the Nationalist Congress Party are contesting the election together under a pre-poll alliance. The NCP also released its first list for the Maharashtra elections. Well, moving to rains and floods in Bihar, the flood situation has further deteriorated following the breach of the ring band of the Panpan river at two places. Panpan is flowing 3 meters above the danger mark and the water level is still rising. Similarly, river Ganga and Son are rising, and the trend continues along all its courses. Surging water of these rivers have engulfed new areas. Over 20 lakh people are still reeling under the impact of floods in 15 districts, including Katihar, Begusarai, Khagaria and Bhagalpur. Over 3 lakh people have been affected in Patna due to the worst ever waterlogging. About 50,000 people have been rescued so far, and over 1,000 boats and 24 NDRF teams have been pressed into service in different parts of the state for relief work. 19 relief camps have also been set up and 226 community kitchens are providing food to the people. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is arriving in India on a 4-day official visit today. During the visit, the Bangladesh Prime Minister will hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Several agreements are expected to be signed between the two countries in different areas. The Bangladesh Prime Minister will also be the chief guest at the World Economic Forum Summit. This will be Hasina's first visit to New Delhi since parliamentary elections were held in Bangladesh and India. Well, our correspondent Rajesh Jha joins us from Dhaka on the phone line. Rajesh, this particular visit by the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, what are the important things that could be a part of discussions in this? That could be a part of the bilateral discussions when she comes to India and meets the Prime Minister.
Indeed, Bangladesh, Anil, is a very important and trusted friend of India.
True.
Yesterday, briefing media, Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, said that the two Prime Ministers will be discussing various issues, including cooperation in energy sector, connectivity, Rohingya refugee repatriation related issue. These are likely to come up for discussion. Water sharing of common rivers, including Tista, is also likely to be discussed. The birth centenary celebration of Bangabandhu and 50 years of diplomatic relations, establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Bangladesh are also likely to figure in the discussion between the two leaders when they meet on 5th. Anil.
Okay, Rajesh, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate you joining us with those updates there on the Bangladeshi Prime Minister's 4-day visit to India. Moving ahead now to international stories, US President Donald Trump on Wednesday angrily denounced an impeachment inquiry into his July telephone call with Ukraine's leader as Democratic lawmakers. Trump said they would subpoena White House records about the call. At a joint press conference with Finland's president, Trump blasted reporters who asked him about the probe, which he called a hoax and a fraud, but said he would cooperate with the inquiry. The Democrats say that the subpoenas could also be issued to force White House compliance with their demands for documentation. With Brexit deadline moving closer and closer, Britain's Prime Minister has stepped up the process of leaving the European Union with or without the deal. In a letter sent by the British Prime Minister to European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, Johnson said he wanted a new deal, but it was negotiated by the October 17th-18th summit. He also enclosed a 7-page explanatory note about the fair and reasonable proposals for dealing with the Irish border after Brexit. According to a UK official, Johnson had also spoken to the European Union President Juncker, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar concerning his new Brexit deal. Committed to solve the Irish dispute, Johnson proposed document said that the proposals would provide for the potential creation of an all-island regulatory zone on the island of Ireland, covering all goods, would ensure that the integrity of the European Union single market and would be keeping with the 1998 Good Friday peace deal. A bus accident in Peru killed at least 23 people when it fell into a gorge after traveling along a twisting mountain. The accident occurred when the bus was traveling along its route between Sasua and Puerto Maldonado when it fell into a 100-meter ravine. At least 50 people were anticipated to be on board, with dozens of passengers getting injured and transported to hospital. And as of now, the police is investigating the cause of the crash. The accident comes in line with frequent crashes happening in Peru, where vehicle and highway maintenance is poor and roads snake along precarious mountains. Nationwide clashes have yet again erupted in Iraq, with demonstrators and Iraqi security forces caught in strong altercation and killing nearly 5 people along with 132 wounded. Considered the largest display of public anger against Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi's year-old government, the protest results over unemployment, corruption and poor public services. The protests, which have been erupting since a couple of months, have now escalated, with many chanting for the fall of the regime, a slogan first popularized during the 2011 Arab Spring uprisings. However, police and the army opened fire and launched tear gas canisters to disperse the hundreds of protesters all over Baghdad. But on the other hand, some provinces in the country witnessed peaceful demonstrations too. Well, time now to welcome on board my colleague Ajay Mishra, who will get us the latest in the world of business and finance.
Thanks very much, Anil. Welcome all to Finance World. Let's start with our top story. The Reserve Bank of India is expected to cut benchmark interest rate for the 5th time this year. On Friday, as recent fiscal measures to boost ailing growth seems largely inadequate and benign, inflation offers room for more easing. The RBI is predicted to lower its key lending rate or repo rate by 25 basis points to 5.15%, which would take cumulative cuts so far this year to 135 BPS. The Asia's third largest economy expanded by just 5% in the June quarter, its slowest pace since 2013. It would be interesting to note what RBI says on growth projection of 6.9% for the current fiscal year. The Dow and the broader stock markets went deep into the red on Wednesday as worries about US economy continued to rattle investors. At its lowest point, the Dow fell nearly 600 points, dropping below 26,000 for the first time since the beginning of September, when new trade tariff came into effect and soared market sentiments. It was the second down day in a row. Tuesday's decline was set off after a worse than expected report on America's manufacturing sector. The Dow closed a little below 500 points, some 1.9% lower. S&P 500 fell 1.8%, while the Nasdaq dropped 1.6%. And the government is coming up with a fresh tranche of Bharat 22 ETF for individual investors. The issue will be open to anchor investors on 3rd of October, that is today, and other investors such as individual investors on 4th of October, tomorrow. It has a base size of 2,000 crore rupees, with the government retaining the right to keep an unspecified additional amount in case of oversubscription. The minimum investment amount for the individuals is 5,000 rupees, and they, along with other investors categories, will get a discount of 3%. Bharat 22 ETF invests in 22 companies that comprise the S&P BSE Bharat 22 index, 19 companies in the public sector and 3 in the private sector. The private sector companies have 39.4% weightage in the index. Returns from earlier ETF has been up to 12.5%. That's all in the finance world. Thanks for watching. Anil?
Well, thank you, Ajay, for those inputs from the world of finance. Time now to move to sports. On the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Kiren Rijiju flagged off the plog run at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi. On this occasion, the sports minister said Fit India plog run will catalyze Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Fit India movement forward.
Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju flagged off Fit India plog run organized by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in Delhi. Greeting everybody on the occasion for being part of Fit India plog run, the minister said that enthusiasm of all sections of society to join in the initiatives towards a fitter, cleaner country is praiseworthy and encouraging.
प्लॉगिंग रन में लाखों लोग जुड़ गए हैं। इतना बड़ा मुहिम बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जैसे फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट लॉन्च किया तो स्वच्छ भारत के साथ इसको जुड़ा, तो आप सफाई करते करते फिटनेस का भी ध्यान रखना है।
Sports Minister was joined by blogger Ripu Daman, eminent sports persons, students belonging to different schools of Delhi, doctors, NGOs and other institutions. Member of Parliament Manoj Tiwari were also present on the occasion.
Everyone needs to be their own scavenger और मैं खुद 130 करोड़ भारतीयों को अपने साथ जोड़ना चाहता था। भारत को कूड़ा मुक्त करना चाहता हूँ, ये मेरा सपना है and with the honorable Prime Minister support and honorable Sports Minister support ये ज़रूर पूरा होगा।
Students, teachers and parents also joined this Fit India plog run.
Without fitness there cannot be good health, and without cleanliness there cannot be fitness. So with this message we are here to promote throughout India. It's a pan-India movement.
This is a very admirable move, and combination of remaining fit and keeping the environment clean is the best way of doing, because as you are doing your fitness on the road, jogging or running, you can participate in the cleanliness movement at the same time.
ये इवेंट बहुत अच्छा है। ये इवेंट हर साल होना चाहिए, लेकिन ये सिर्फ इवेंट के लिए नहीं है, ये पूरे दिन हमें हमेशा करना चाहिए। जब भी हम जॉगिंग पे जाएं, जब भी हमें कूड़ा मिले, हमें हमेशा फेंकना चाहिए।
जैसे अगर हम फिट रहेंगे तो हमारा इंडिया भी फिट रहेगा, और हमें फिट बनाने के लिए हमें प्लास्टिक और बाकी सारे कूड़े को हमारे देश से अलग करना होगा, और इसे करने के लिए हमें बहुत सारा परिश्रम करना पड़ेगा।
Nehru Yuva Kendras, NSS centers and government and private institutions across the country are also organizing plog run to ensure that fitness and cleanliness become a way of life for people. Narayan Singh's report, DD News, Delhi.
Rohit Sharma's Test career got a new lease of life as he struck an unbeaten 115 in his first innings as an opener to take India to a commanding 202 for no loss against South Africa before rain washed out the final session of the series opener.
The saga of Rohit Sharma and Test cricket came in for another twist on the opening day of the first Test in Vizag. His newest avatar in this format as an opener was one of the biggest talking points ahead of the Test. And after 2 sessions and an unbeaten 115, he would put many of those doubts to rest. India, who had named their playing on the eve of the first Test, opted to bat on a dry surface. Expecting the pitch to turn, South Africa picked 3 spinners in their side. All eyes were expectedly on Rohit, whose Test career has taken a new direction with the management accommodating him at the top of the order. The Indian opening pair was facing its own set of nerves. Mayank Agarwal had never played a Test in India, while his partner Rohit had never opened in a Test. Both batsmen showed enough discipline to not try and dominate the bowling. The new ball moved around for about few overs, and then the South African spinners, 3 of them, showed neither the skills to trouble the batsmen nor the discipline to tie them down. On a slow, dry pitch, the odd edge produced by the quicks didn't carry, and the 2 batsmen quickly turned aggressive, hitting 7 sixes between them, rendering the in and out fields ineffective. The 100 for Rohit Sharma in his maiden innings as an opener and 4th overall came towards the end of the second session, putting to rest for the time being any doubts over his opening credentials. Pushed into shadow as a result was a stylish 84 from Mayank Agarwal at the other end before bad light forced an early tea break. No play was possible in the final session due to rain, giving du Plessis and company some respite. Sports Desk, DD News.
Well, after a look at sporting stories, it's time now to take a look at the national dailies and the big stories that are published in the national dailies from the national capital. Our first look is at the Times of India. There is on the front page an interesting story on a 3-fold rise. That's roughly, the number of vehicles that are on the high when it comes to getting PUC certificates in the month of September. 2.7K, the highest number of certificates issued by a center in a day. There are 941 number of PUC centers in Delhi and 2,731. That's the highest number, a single unit from where PUC certificates have been issued in Mangolpuri. And roughly around 50,000, that's the number of PUC certificates being issued every day since September 1st. So surely in the people at least coming out in the large numbers to get their PUCs done, and there are roughly around approximately 75 lakh vehicles in the city. So surely people coming out and a 3-fold rise when it comes to people getting their PUC certificates done. Our next look is at the Hindustan Times and the National Green Tribunal once again directing the states of Punjab and Haryana and the governments there to keep a daily tab on the crop residue fires. The National Green Tribunal has directed the governments in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh to set up special cells to monitor the pollution caused by burning of paddy straw burning. A bench headed by the NGT chairperson has said that the problem of pollution caused by the burning of crop residue cannot be dealt with unless effective measures are adopted. And as per the directions, monitoring cells will have to be set up in the office of the Chief Secretary, and a report that needs to be presented on a daily basis for the next 1 month has to be submitted. Even on holidays, these reports to be submitted to the National Green Tribunal. Moving ahead to the Indian Express, on the front page, there is a story on a 50,000 rupee fine for idle immersion in Ganga and its tributaries. This has come from the centre. The central government has issued a 15-point directive, including cordoning of ghats and imposing a fine of 50,000 to prevent the immersion of idols in the Ganges or its tributaries during festivals, including Dussehra, Diwali, Chhath and Saraswati Puja. The directive has been ordered by the National Mission for Clean Ganga to chief secretaries in 11 Ganga basin states. Officials of Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal were present in the meeting, and they need to keep a check on this particular problem, and a 15-point directive being issued to the 11 Ganga basin states. Our next look is at Durga Puja celebrations, and a unique way to keep children engrossed while parents are busy with the festive season. A worker decorating the artificial forest sequence for children at a community puja pandal for the upcoming Durga Puja festival in Kolkata. An interesting take on decorations, so the children also are glued to the festivals, and everyone, it becomes a family event to come out and celebrate with your near and dear ones. Moving ahead now, after the paper review, to Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi might have minced no words for his aversion to cinema, describing it as a corrupting influence, but his imprint on celluloid has been varied, going from shades of black and white to Technicolor. Let's take a look.
Mahatma Gandhi, or Bapu, whose beliefs inspired an entire school of thought, influenced films down many decades. Some were based on his life, while others on the values that Bapu inspired in the society. And countless number of films were made where Bapu is in the silent backdrop, a picture on the wall, but most important one, to the hero's moral conflict. There is an entire genre of films based on chapters from Bapu's life. The most famous and the most successful in many sense is Richard Attenborough's 1983 classic, the Oscar winner Gandhi, with Ben Kingsley in the central role. Shyam Benegal's 1996 film, The Making of the Mahatma, is about Bapu's process of understanding things and the story of his evolution. From Jagriti in 1954 to Lage Raho Munna Bhai in 2006, the arc is literally very long. The song De Di Hame Azadi from Jagriti has virtually become all-time favorite ode to the warrior of peace. To this day, the song continues to inspire Indians and inculcate values of Mahatma Gandhi in the generation next. Other films of the era recall the complex idealism that Mahatma Gandhi represented. The 1957 Dilip Kumar starrer Naya Daur deals with the man versus machine debate, and V. Shantaram's classic Do Aankhein Bara Haath, also released in 1957, focuses on rehabilitation of 6 criminals by a humane jail warden. Even as India underwent a change in years since independence, the essence of Mahatma Gandhi has remained the same, both for the nation and also for the cinema of India. Even in continuously changing landscape of life and society, Mahatma Gandhi retains his eternal, indelible place in it. More recently, Lage Raho Munna Bhai gave a new meaning to Gandhigiri through the story of a simple-hearted goon who finds guidance in Gandhi's teachings. So, even if the scripts may have adapted themselves to the changed circumstances over the decades, Bapu's influence and relevance is impossible to miss. He is as relevant today as he was earlier. Bureau Report, TD News.
Well, time now to take a look at the weather across the country. Well, before we end this edition of Breakfast Show, we leave you with a positive thought to kickstart your day. Don't wait, the time will never be just right. Our image of the day, glimpses of the famous Garba dance performance from Gujarat. People in traditional attire from every nook and corner celebrating the Navratri festival. Take a look. Stay safe and healthy. Have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye.